In the village of Omalicha, where the red earth met the green hills and the gods still whispered through baobab trees, lived a man called Obina. He was not a fool, nor lazy, only poor. The kind of poor that follows a man like a shadow, clinging to his skin and clothes, making his sweat smell like desperation. Obina had a wife, Enkay, whose beauty had once made village boys fight behind the market square. Her laughter could calm a crying baby, and her hands could turn scraps into stew. She loved Obina not for what he had, but for who he was, a man with a gentle heart and kind eyes. But love cannot fill an empty stomach. Obina's friends had become gods among men. Enkay, Butchie, and Tochi, once his classmates who shared Gary and groundnuts, now wore gold watches and rode in gleaming SUVs with tinted windows. They lived in the city, but whenever they returned to the village, the earth itself seemed to bend under their polished shoes. They laughed too loudly. They sprayed money like confetti. They insulted elders with the boldness only the rich could afford. And they always said the same thing to Obina. "You're still living like a goat in a hut. Haba. Open your eyes, brother." One night, as Obina sat in darkness with a flickering oil lamp and his belly roaring like a wounded lion, he broke. He took a bus to a wherry, then a bike to a gated estate where Enkay now lived like a prince. Marble floors. Chandeliers like crystal rain. Half-dressed girls sipping wine by the pool. "Enkay," Obina said, eyes heavy with shame, "I want to be rich. I'm tired. Help me." Enkay poured him a drink and leaned close. "Are you ready to do what we did?" Obina swallowed hard. "Yes." Enkay's smile faded. "There's no going back." That night, they traveled to the forest of Omalicha, a place no sane villager dared to enter after sunset. The moon hid behind clouds as if afraid. Crickets fell silent. And in the shadows, beneath a shrine made of iron and bone, sat Dibia Odom. His skin was like tree bark, wrinkled and scarred. Cowries dangled from his beard. His eyes, milky white, seemed to see not with sight, but with something older, darker. "Speak, boy," the Dibia croaked. "I want wealth," Obina whispered. "Enough to change my life." The Dibia scoffed. "Life cannot be changed. Only traded." He reached into a calabash and drew out a black feather soaked in oil. "The spirits demand blood. The blood of what you love most." Obina's breath caught in his throat. "But, that would be your wife." The Dibia's voice cut like a machete. "She is your heart. You must give them your heart." Obina wept that night. He could not sleep. Enkay hummed beside him in their mat, rubbing his back gently, unaware her death had been bargained in a dark forest. 3 days passed. Then 7. And on the 9th day, he did it. He cooked her favorite yam porridge with uga leaves. Slipped in the powder the Dibia gave him. Watched her smile as she ate. Watched her eyes widen. Watched her fall. She died in his arms, choking, whispering, "Obina, why?" The next week, money came like rain after drought. contracts, transfers, land documents. Obinna bought a house in Lekki, a Range Rover, a generator that ran day and night, and a wardrobe filled with designer labels. He tried to forget. But the dead do not sleep when betrayed. It began subtly. The TV would turn on by itself at night, static whispering in voices only he could hear. He would wake to find muddy footprints across his marble floor. The mirrors in his house would fog up with handprints, small, feminine. Then, he saw her. Nkechi. Standing in the corner of the bedroom. Her eyes hollow. Blood trickling from her lips. She didn't speak. She just stared. Obinna screamed. Sprayed holy water. Burned incense. Flew pastors in from Lagos. Nothing worked. Wherever he went, she followed. In the back seat of his car. Reflected in windows. In his dreams. One night, he woke to find her lying beside him in bed, holding his hand like she used to. When he jerked back in terror, she whispered. You gave them my body, but my spirit will never rest. He spiraled. He drank. He shouted at shadows. He beat his gateman for letting a ghost in. He fired all his staff and locked himself in. Then news came. Ejike had gone mad. He stripped naked during a board meeting, screaming, "They're coming. They're here. The wives. The wives." Butchie stabbed his reflection to death. Tochi was found wandering in the forest, speaking in tongues, hands dripping with blood not his own. Obinna knew what he had to do. He returned to Omalicha, barefoot, wearing sackcloth. He walked into the village square during the Eek market and knelt before the elders and the gods. "I confess," he cried. "I killed Nkechi for money. I gave her to spirits. Let her haunt me no more." Thunder cracked. A sudden wind swept the market. Palm leaves trembled. Women screamed. Old men crossed themselves. Obinna fell, convulsing. Blood poured from his mouth. His eyes turned white. He gasped once, then lay still. At that moment, a strange calm fell over the village. Some say they saw Nkechi's spirit walk through the square that day, smiling at last, her feet no longer touching the earth.